Hello friends, I am doing a midweek garden tour and I've never done this before and showed everybody exactly what I'm growing. So here is the official first garden tour. On this side I have my zinnias. I left these in here. This used to be all zinnias right here and I decided to rip it out, and I recently just planted some onions down here and my kale for my fall garden. These are the little onions, which are doing fabulous. I still have these peppers. This right here is a pepper and that's a pepper. It was from a free seed pack that I got from Baker's Creek Heirloom Seeds. So I just put them, direct sowed them, and they've been doing amazing, but they haven't produced yet. Like there's a pepper on there and it's my first one. And it's this big. I planted it way back in spring. So for it to be starting to produce like mid-September is interesting. I also have right here a dahlia. Here's a little bloom coming out, which have been amazing. But one very important thing that I've learned about dahlias is they need support. And I did not do that, which I regret. So you can see where this dahlia starts right here, and a storm had blown it over, so now it sits like that. But I have thoroughly enjoyed my dahlias. I will forever and always, kind of like gladiolus, I will always have those in my garden because they just bring me so much joy because they're beautiful. Over here I have some mallow, and I bought that at the farmer's market a couple weeks ago. So this is perennial and it will come back year after year. So it was just the end of season, so she was selling them at a little discounted rate, and so I snagged them. Right here I plant my carrots, and my cat is liking to get in here and scratch all this up. I hate to think that she's pooping in here because that's disgusting, but it's very likely possible, and I gotta find out a way to get her out of here. Over here, I planted some more onions down this little row and a few random broccoli plants right here. These right here are the green beans I planted 2 weeks ago. I planted them out. We started them on my prior YouTube video inside my grow room in my basement. So they are doing amazing, and they're also producing blooms right now, which will make hopefully some green beans before the frost comes in. This plant has been so amazing, and I've used it in a lot of the fun arrangements that me and Carter built on one of my YouTube channels. But look how huge this thing is. I mean, it is like almost my height. I mean, this is a raised bed, but this is up to like my height right here. And it's beautiful. And I can't remember for the life of me if this is salvia or if it's lavender. I need to look at my seed packs because I did not label. Back here, I have some carrots planted, some more carrots down these rows. And I recently just planted these peas, which will be awesome to have. And coming up over here, this is one of my favorite zinnia varieties. It's the cactus variety, and it's just so special and pretty and weird. These always have to be in my garden also. It's a must. I had some sunflowers right here, but I picked them to dry. Looks like maybe one's still on. See, they're kind of getting a little yucky. And more cabbage that I haven't planted out. I'm actually gonna end up sharing it with a friend at work. So back here, I have some more carrots. We're gonna have lots of carrots. You don't realize until like you do a tour like this and tell everybody what you're growing, and you're like, wow, I got a lot of carrots. Hopefully we'll be able to save them and put them in the freezer for soups and such. And down here I have some more, just like the other side I did, some peas. And this is my little broccoli patch. I have 6 broccoli plants. And over here, they're falling down now, bless it. They were so pretty, but these sunflowers I planted, they're so fallish and beautiful. I love them so much. This over here is my calendula area, and it has been producing like crazy. I plan to actually use this calendula in a salve for mosquito bites. Like my kids, we have so many mosquitoes, and I don't know if it's just because we're in Georgia. I feel like it's just like mecca for some mosquitoes. But I think that making a calendula salve would help them with their bug bites. So that's my goal. I'm just working up to getting 2 cups of it so I can start making that. And this right here is some chamomile. And I have one here. Actually, these are multiple plants. Well, that's 1. There's 2, 3, and I have another one over there. So this chamomile I'm hoping will come back next year. That is best case scenario. If not, I guess I will just have to replant it, because I grew some of them. Some of them were productive. I don't know why they ended up kind of funky looking like this. I was expecting more of like a bush. But the few blooms that I was able to pull off of my chamomile smelled like candy. Like it was amazing. And as you can see over here, I'm doing some more beans. They're just gonna be a little later on blooming and producing than the other ones I showed you a second ago. And this variety of zinnia is called Mazurkia, and it's just amazing also. I did plant some of these sunflowers also, which have been so fun. I can't even remember the name. I think it's Double Quick. They're like a fuzzy sunflower. It's so fun. I've really enjoyed those. As you can see, everything's kind of fallen over. One of my most producing things I planted all year is this Mexican gherkin, which is the cover that flows over my arch in my garden. Like, it is just beautiful, and it covered the mess out of this. And this is only from 3 seeds that actually were successful at germinating. The other seeds just didn't make it for some reason or the other. But it has grown so much, and it just covers this whole thing. And as you can see, it's still wanting to produce. They're all over on here. And these are brand new. And all these up here, I mean, there's just a ton. And this is just a little ornament I got to hang from here. I thought it was so cute at the farmer's market the other day. So on the other side of the garage, we have 6 more raised beds. Andrew put these up last fall, and I planted my first garlic ever, which was a total bust. I had a black bug just annihilate my garlic, which makes me really sad. I think they're called thrips. Thrips. It's even a, like, I don't even like that word. I just ripped out all these tomato plants. Those were all my tomatoes, which kind of hurt my heart a little bit. But honestly, they were getting eaten up by those hornworms, and they stopped producing as much, and the tomatoes will actually start not tasting as good also. So it's good to just go ahead and rip them out. So I kind of loosened up the soil a bit, and I planted broccoli, cabbage, and another thing of cabbage. And you're like, oh my gosh, homegirl is gonna be eating some cabbage. but I really want to learn how to make some kimchi. I think that it sounds good for one, and it's really good for your gut microbiome and building that up, and which is so connected to your immune system and all those things. And I just think it sounds like something fun to do. One thing I did not pull out yet is the aji cachucha peppers, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I could be completely wrong on that. But they have really started to produce really well. You can see when they turn that orange color, that's when they're ripe. And you can see it's just still producing so well that I just don't have it in my heart to rip them out yet. So I'm just gonna leave them in there. Now on down the way, past these raised beds, I did a really long in-ground bed as an experiment. And as you can see, the experiment went as I thought it would. It is overgrown with a ton of weeds because I feel like in-ground gardens are just like way more heavy in terms of weed maintenance, and I barely have time to keep up with what I have. That being said, I don't think it's an awful idea as long as you can keep up on the weeding. And I have peony plants in here. There's some sedum, and this area was mostly my dahlias, which I did not support, and they fell over, which hurts my heart. But I've still been able to enjoy, even though they fell over. Like, look how wonderful. So that's my garden, and it's my happy place, and I have so many plans as far as next year and what we're gonna do as far as additions. My husband, we were able to get some metal off an old building at his work for totally free, which I cannot believe. That is just like a blessing from God, because it can be so expensive. It's made it so I will have the opportunity to add like 9 20-foot beds if I want to, which when I look around, you're like, oh my gosh, she lives on top of the hill. Like, how in the world is she gonna do that? Well, back here, you see we have the trampoline. My plan is to put the 2 20-foot beds right off of our back deck. So as you can see, it's walkout basement. And we have all this area right here, which I think would be perfect to put 2 long raised beds. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for being a blessing to my channel. Until next time. Wow. Sure, we can pickle them.
Wait, we can like put them on the ground and it will make pickles?
No, it won't make pickles like that. You have to put them in vinegar.
Get her.